the 1994 film Clerks by Kevin Smith. So the IMDb summary here is a day in the life of two convenience store clerks named Dante and Randall as they annoy customers, discuss movies, and play hockey on the store roof. So this is a film that I've liked for a really long time. And the reason why I included it on this list, however, was when I started out, my first job that I had was in customer service. So I worked, this is the mid 90s, Internet 1.0, and I worked at a local ISP doing phone tech support. It was a small startup, so there's only 5 of us in this office, but it was my experience dealing with those customers who would call in. Then I moved into sales, and then another job, which actually the worst job I feel like I've ever had, was working in a movie theater behind the concession stand and then the ticket booth. And this movie really, to me, captures the dynamic of what it was like for me, at least, to be in these roles, interfacing with customers, and really kind of taught me, I think, why this was not a line of work I wanted to be in, like customer service roles. I'm interfacing directly with customers. The film talks a lot. There's a lot of episodic scenes around weird esoteric customers that would come into the convenience store each day. And we definitely had people that would call in a lot into these tech support lines that everyone kind of knew, oh, this is so-and-so, he's calling in. Oh, it's him again. Who wants to take, so-and-so, because we know kind of how he's going to react. So I think that film really captures that really well. It also showed me how because in the film, the two stars, or two main characters, they are pretty rude to their customers sometimes and kind of standoffish. And Randall, one of the main characters, even has a line in the film about, oh, this job would be so great if it wasn't for the customers. Like the customers are there basically to annoy them. And you do kind of sometimes get that sense working in these roles. I remember being at the movie theater and just the way that the customers would berate and treat you when you were getting their popcorn or getting their soda or whatever, just really did, make you kind of be annoyed with them in a way. Instead of what you're supposed to be doing is, giving them great customer service because they're there, you're serving them. But the way that they would sometimes act, it would bring something out in me, though I didn't necessarily act on it in the way that they do in the film in terms of being so rude and kind of playing pranks on their customers. But I definitely saw that with other people, especially in the theater, in terms of how they would treat folks. And another thing I think this film does a really good job of capturing, and Kevin Smith, who's the writer-director, worked in a convenience store. I think you can definitely tell how authentic this is just the dialogue and sort of the banality of what you would talk about with your coworkers. I mean, both of these roles in a internet startup and then a movie theater, they're basically just all nerds who are there. Internet company was all these computer nerds, and then the movie, it was a bunch of movie nerds. So you would be talking about a lot of the really basically stupid things all day just to pass the time, like they were in this movie, talking about there's another famous scene I like in the film where they're talking about what about in the Star Wars movie, all those construction workers on the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi, did they deserve to get killed too? I mean, these are the kind of the conversations that you have in these roles just to pass the time. So what I think about this role or this film and what it does to me is it really does bring me back every time I see it to what it was like working in these, customer facing retail roles, for better or for worse, and really did remind me of why that was not something I was very good at and enjoyed as a career. And I definitely did not pursue, retail or customer service as something in my career. So that film, again, transports me right back to that. I think does a great job of capturing that type of work that I started my career off doing.
Fascinating.
Have you
I had
seen the
no
film?
idea that you were in these jobs
Yeah.
before. So this is good to know. I have not seen this movie. I've heard of it. I obviously know who Kevin Smith is, so I really can't comment much on the movie per se. But yeah, I mean, the service industry is probably one of the hardest industries,
For sure.
in general, and especially going through a time of pandemic over the last year, and in some ways still this year. It's sort of, I think, upped my empathy for folks in this line of work even more, because in some ways, when the world was falling apart, this group of people was still standing tall, and dealing with just the craziness of this industry to begin with. But then on top of that, the neurosis of people, living through this crazy time of shortages and all the stuff that we all are very familiar with. So yeah, also good, I guess, good choice that you didn't stick to that. We
Yeah,
probably
though
would not be doing this podcast.
that's true though in terms of what you were just saying as well, like it does, I think it really helped me, those roles of understanding where the people on the other line are coming from when you're on the phone talking to customer service. Like I know like what that's like, and definitely don't yell at those people. It's not like their fault when something's wrong. Like I've been in their shoes, and I definitely know what that's like. And it's a hard job. It really is, dealing with people that do yell at you for no reason just because they're having a bad day. And you can tell that sometimes when you're on the other line taking these calls. And it definitely did help me have that empathy for people in these service roles. And that, again, this film kind of puts you in that mindset, but I can also think back to what it was like to be there too. So definitely the empathy was something that's important. Have you ever done a service job or anything relating to this?
Not really. I probably should. At various jobs, I think we had programs where, folks on the business side were requested to kind of sit in on customer service calls just to kind of understand the customer pain point and such. And I got a taste of, how awful that was. But that's really my only direct experience.
Well, if you watch the film, that'll help you, I think, get in those shoes a bit.
Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.